Welcome to Casense.
Picture a thriving town where generations of families have built their lives around one massive coal plant. The plant provides the local paychecks and forms the very heartbeat of the entire community. But we are facing a harsh global reality. To stop the severe impacts of climate change, high-emitting sites exactly like this one will eventually have to close their doors. Imagine if the padlocks went on tomorrow with no backup plan. The fallout for the people living in its shadow would be immediate and severe. It would stretch far beyond lost paychecks. Local diners would empty out, property values would drop, and retirement pensions could vanish, pulling the financial rug out from under the entire area. When people face sudden economic collapse, they naturally fight back to protect their homes. That fierce resistance stalls the exact climate action the closure was meant to achieve. There is an alternative to a chaotic shutdown. We can use a specific approach designed to make the shift to a cleaner economy actively fair for the people caught in the middle. This document details a framework called a just transition. The International Labor Organization defines it as greening the economy in a way that is as inclusive as possible, intentionally leaving no one behind. Fairness serves a vital structural purpose in climate policy. It provides the stability and public backing required for these massive economic shifts to actually work. A just transition secures the community's support, what experts call a social license. Without that local backing, the larger global goal of reducing carbon emissions simply cannot succeed. To see how this looks in practice, let's examine a case study of an energy firm called Ironvale. They desperately needed to safely close an aging coal plant without abandoning the town that heavily relied on it. They used a four-pillar approach. The first pillar is decent green jobs. This requires actively creating new, quality roles in growing industries to replace the ones that are shrinking. For Ironvale, this meant building a brand new solar and battery facility right in the same community, keeping the economic momentum local. The second pillar is reskilling and education. You have to ensure that existing workers aren't stranded by a sudden shift in technology. Instead of handing out pink slips, Ironvale retrained their local coal plant operators to manage the new solar arrays and battery grids. They protected the town's livelihoods by keeping the same people employed. By directly replacing local jobs and retraining the current workforce, a devastating shutdown becomes a manageable lateral career shift for the community. The reality of the workforce is complicated. Not every single person is going to be able to jump straight into a clean energy role on day one. That brings us to the third pillar, social protection. This acts as a vital safety net to buffer the people hit hardest by changing economy. Ironvale set up bridging income for those between jobs, secured early pensions for older workers nearing retirement, and directed targeted investments to keep local community services running smoothly. The fourth and final pillar is social dialogue. This is the mandate to actually sit down and involve the community in making the big decisions. Ironvale avoided making top-down decisions from a closed boardroom. Instead, they collaborated closely with local unions and town officials. The transition plan was built with the people rather than imposed on them. When you bring all four of these pillars together, you stabilize the town. You take a dangerous situation defined by fear and fierce resistance and turn it into highly collaborative, forward-thinking progress. A beat of caution. Because this idea sounds so appealing, just transition easily turns into an empty corporate buzzword if it isn't applied honestly. This table highlights when to use this approach, actively phasing out high-carbon sites or designing climate policies that impact jobs. On the other side are the danger zones, using the phrase as empty words without securing funding, or as an excuse to delay action. This final page outlines common mistakes, pointing out how dangerous it is to bolt these plans on late in the process, or to rely on top-down instructions that offer no genuine voice to the people actually losing their jobs. A just transition only succeeds when it is funded proactively, woven deeply into the initial strategy, and genuinely inclusive from the very first day. Let's look back at Ironvale. Today, the town is modernized. The smoke is gone, replaced by humming solar fields, and the local economy beats strong. We must shut down polluting industries to stabilize our climate. But if we abandon the workers in the process, the resulting backlash will guarantee the failure of the broader climate movement. The just transition provides a practical, tested blueprint. It shows us exactly how to protect human livelihoods while making the hard shift to a green economy. Prioritizing fairness provides the strategic foundation that makes saving the planet achievable.